came to Arizona when I was 20 years old and never looked back. I was pulled by a vision I had for an adventure, searching for my muse. I was pulled by the need for nature, and I found Arizona to be rich in all of those things, and was looking for an adventure that was so large it would feed me for a long time. When I found the Grand Canyon, I knew I was close. And in 1972, I started living at the canyon and threw myself into the study of the natural functions of the canyon, keeping my own journals and my own science studies, rocks, geology, science, botany. I spent 2 years just identifying every plant in the park that I could find, every plant in the canyon. Spent a lot of time studying the rocks of the canyon. You know, if you look at the rocks of the canyon, you know, you might pick up this rock and say, well, that's a rock, whatever, you know, but no, this is a specific chunk. It shows the purple striping of the sorted grains in the Tapete sandstone, and it's a pretty classic example of that magnificent formation called the Tapetes. You know, I mean, I could pick up any rock you could hand me now from in the canyon, and I'll tell you about it. You know, I mean, you know, hardened terrestrial mud from the Hermit Shale, you know, the marine deposits of the green layers of the Bright Angel Shale, pretty dynamic stuff. You know, everybody talks about the red rocks. Well, what about the green ones? You know, I mean, there's more going on. I felt like there was so much going on at the canyon that it took me probably 3 years or 4 years of living in the canyon before I finally got to the place where I felt even comfortable with paint. And I started to paint probably in the mid-70s there. I did executed my first oil painting. But took a while for me to really get on a roll, because there's so much information at the Grand Canyon to know and learn, and so much information for an artist to absorb. It's very, very difficult to wrap your arms around what the Grand Canyon is artistically and express it, at least for me. I needed to have as much information as I could get before I could really say what it was I wanted to say. For example, here's a little drawing I did. This is of Oza Butte, showing the Tapete sandstone, the layers of the Supai, the red wall up to the Coconino sandstone there at the top, and I mean, I did hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these kind of drawings, just so that I could understand the layers, so I knew what I was talking about. So when I was reconstructing up to a canvas, this painting you see it underway here, you know, I mean, it starts with a drawing and a basic fundamental understanding of the anatomy of the canyon, just like one might say, you know, you study anatomy of the human figure in order to paint and draw and paint correctly the human figure. You have to understand these things. So it's the same thing for me. I consider the geology and the structure and the botany and all the aspects of the anatomy of the canyon.